Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Mello Monday. Yep, it is one of those Mondays you'd like to mellow out. It's cool, but it's comfortable, and it's pleasant, and it's still spring, so we're going to have these cool days that come along. But, hey, you know what we also have coming along this Sunday is Psalm 23. Again, yeah, we just had Psalm 23 back there in Lent. You might be saying, why are we doing it again? Well, this is traditionally, the fourth Sunday of Easter is traditionally Good Shepherd Sunday, and we take all of our gospel lessons in the three cycles of the fourth Sunday of Easter from the 10th chapter of John. Now, the portion that we have this year, the very first part of chapter 10, doesn't mention Jesus as the Good Shepherd. In fact, the metaphor is he's the gate. He's the way you get in and out of the sheepfold. He's not the Good Shepherd. That comes a little bit later in chapter 10. But, hey, you put it all together, it's all, it's all about the sheep too. It's about us, but it's about the one who guards us, protects us, and, stuff like that, because that's what's going on in Psalm 23. You might recall back in Lent, I said, take a look at Psalm 22 first. It's not super long. It's maybe 3 times as long as Psalm 23, but read through it. It's one that Jesus quotes from the cross as he's hanging there. It's a psalm of lament. And a lament is, where are you, God? Have you left me? Have you abandoned me? And that's what Jesus says from Psalm 22. My God, why have you forsaken me? And the lament is crying out for help. God, come rescue me. Now, Psalm 23 is kind of the answer to that. And many scholars feel that the two Psalms were meant to be taken together. Read 22 and then 23. Or speak out 22 and then speak out 23. Why? Because Psalm 23 is a psalm of trust. God, I know you're there, and I know you're going to get me through this tough spot. Whereas laments are kind of, are you there? So what do we have going here in Psalm 23? A couple of things I just wanted to point out that are kind of neat and have to do with the exact Hebrew words that are going on. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. What's that mean? Well, that Hebrew word for want is used a couple of other times in the Older Testament, and what we see happening there is it's translated as, you have everything you need. You have nothing, you lack nothing, okay? And it's in reference to the people traveling for 40 years in the wilderness in the Exodus from Egypt, when Moses led them out into the promised land. For 40 years, you lacked nothing. You had it all. God provided. Same word being used here. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Now, there is the shepherd imagery right there. And you might also recall, I kind of touched on that back in Lent, that word shepherd is actually used across many different cultures in that Middle Eastern venue there that includes Palestine and all that. Okay, and the shepherd is a term that was used of the king. Yeah, the king of that nation. It was supposed to be your shepherd, not your pastor, not your priest. No, the king. The king is your shepherd. Why? He's the one that's supposed to protect you. He's the one that's supposed to take care of you and supply all that you need. The green grass, the meadows, all that kind of stuff. All right? So we all know the 23rd Psalm. You probably know it by heart. You probably know it by the King James Version that most of us probably grew up with. But there's another word here that is, well, actually, there's two more to look at. The part that says, even though I walk through the darkest valley, we often translate that, because of the King James Version, the valley of the shadow of death. No, darkest valley is probably the better translation, because it's not talking about death itself. It's just talking about a really bad situation. deep darkness, valley of shadows, that sort of thing. Yeah, it can feel like you are on the edge of death. So, yeah, okay, King James Version, you did all right with that. And I like the way the Message puts it, even though I walk through Death Valley, bringing in that whole death theme. And probably that's why this psalm is so widely recognized, because we hear it at funerals a lot, right? Yeah. But really, it's not talking about death itself. It's talking about really bad situations that we find ourselves. But remember, it's even though we're going through that, you won't fear any evil, because, why? Thou art with me. God, you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. I don't have to worry about it. This is a psalm of trust. So the first part of the psalm, the metaphor is, you as shepherd, I put my trust in you. And now the last part, you prepare a table before me. You're no longer the shepherd. You're the host at a banquet. You're preparing a table in the front of my enemies. Yeah, you see that? My enemies haven't been obliterated and wiped out? No, they are still there. I live in the midst of my enemies. And yet you are preparing a banquet table for me in their midst. See, you are providing for me. You're taking care of me. And I trust you, God, that you will do it. Psalm of trust. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. They'll follow me? No. You know what the real word means? The real Hebrew word? It means chase after me, pursue me. And that verb is used throughout the Older Testament, meaning the enemy is chasing me. Yeah. But now it's all been flip-flopped. No longer it's my enemy that's pursuing me and chasing me. Now it's your goodness and your mercy is coming after me. I can't escape it. And isn't that awesome? I can't escape your goodness and your mercy. And the beautiful thing about that is, I will dwell in the house of the Lord. We often have this last part translated forever, but it's my entire life. So whenever you think of the word forever, you think, oh, that's heaven. No, it's right now. Right now. I will dwell in your house. I will be with you right now. Beautiful psalm of trust. It's one that we often memorize as kids on our way up into adulthood. But it is a psalm that tells us, keep on trusting. Put your hope, your faith, your trust in God. And don't forget, go back and read Psalm 22 just before you read Psalm 23, and you'll see how beautifully it answers the questions of, God, have you abandoned me? My God, where are you? Why is this happening to me? The answer is right here. He hasn't abandoned us. He will be with us through our darkest moments. God's blessings be with you this day.